Hello, my name is Michelle Tobin-Singer. I'm a circuit court judge in Broward County, and it is my honor and privilege on behalf of the Broward County Bar, the 17th Judicial Circuit, the Broward County Women's Leadership Committee, and the Broward Association of Women's Lawyers to be here interviewing one of our award recipients, someone who, when I was reading through her resume, thought she should have gotten this award a long time ago, but we've only had this award for this is the second year, Diana, so please excuse us for not giving it to you earlier, but this is well deserved. You are so impressive, and we are so fortunate to have you as a member of the Broward County and a leader in the Broward County. So I'm here to interview you so that the audience can learn a little bit about you and how you became such a wonderful leader in our legal community. So welcome, and we'll just start off. How about sharing with us how it is that you decided to become a lawyer?
Okay, well, first let me say thank you for that wonderful introduction. Judge Tobin-Singer, coming from you, that means a lot. You are one of our wonderful women leaders in the judiciary, so I thank you, and I'm especially honored that you're interviewing me. In terms of how I ended up becoming a lawyer, well, I always enjoyed being in school, and around my third year of college, I started thinking about law because I realized I was going to graduate soon and didn't really have the science skills or strengths to go into medical school, and thought I'm going to give law school a try. So I started taking pre-law courses at the University of Miami, where I was a student. I was at that time majoring in English and philosophy, which both are good degrees and good background, you know, reading and writing that transfer well to law. And took some pre-law courses, joined a pre-law organization there, and just started thinking that way. And I applied to law school at Miami and at George Washington University. I was lucky to be accepted to both. The University of Miami allowed me to stay here close to home, and they also offered me a scholarship. So that's how I came to go to law school. Once in law school, I developed a passion for something that I didn't really even know that I had, and that was advocacy. From my first year in law school at the University of Miami, I began to be part of what there is called a moot court team. I was tapped to represent the school in the state moot court competition. The
Right, the Best Brief Award.
I did, and thank you for that.
And not only did you do moot court, but you did mock trial too. So, and let me just say, for those of us who have been through law school, we know how much work just getting through law school is, which, by the way, you graduated with honors. So you did well academically, but also to be involved, not just in moot court, but also mock trial. And also you are a staff writer of the law school newspaper. It's really, really impressive. And so it's not a surprise that you continue to impress when you graduated from law school, but you're like a whirlwind of productivity and energy.
Well, thank you very much for that. I found in law school that I gravitated very naturally to advocacy. And when I got out of law school and had originally been hired at a corporate firm, I realized how unhappy I was doing that type of work. And I quickly realized that and sought a position doing trial work, and was fortunate to be hired by Sheldon J. Schlesinger's law firm, where I got into this area of law that I've now been in for over 30 years, personal injury and medical malpractice, which I really credit him for mentoring me in that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful also that you were at a firm that fostered your development as a trial attorney, because I have to say, as a judge, I've seen and heard some stories where women are not really given the same opportunities as men in terms as trial attorneys. Can you speak on that? Have you had any experiences like that?
Honestly, I have to say no. I was one of two women lawyers at Shelley's office back then. There was myself and Bob Kelly and Jack Vital
Mhm.
and Scott Schlesinger, who had recently become a lawyer along with me. And of course, Sheldon Schlesinger, also Donald Topkin and Gary Cohen were there at the time. Um, and I had actually been hired to do research and writing, to do their in-house appellate work. And one day I just sat down with Shelley and I said, I want to do everything you've hired me to do. But in addition to that, I would very much like to develop my trial skills and go to trial and do litigation, and I'll still do everything else. So I said, just give me the cases nobody wants to try, the bad cases, the dogs in the office. And he did. And that was how I cut my teeth. I think it's important to just let people know what you want to do. And if you care and you work hard, I don't ever believe that being a woman can be a setback, because the traits of caring and working hard, those shine through,
Right.
notwithstanding, and they translate beyond gender and ethnicity. And I've never really seen that as an obstacle, and I don't really think about it much.
Right.
I grew up with three brothers.
Mhm.
Two of them were younger than me, and I was considered, in the neighborhood, I was the one that would protect them. There was a bully in the neighborhood. And one time I found him beating up on a younger brother of mine. And I didn't even know I had it in me, but I physically destroyed him. And so I think I had that passion, that advocacy for helping anyone who was a victim since early on.
Mhm.
And so, no, I have to say, it's never, I've never really thought about that. Although people have pointed it out to me, if things have maybe not gone my way, people are quick to say, well, that's because you're a woman. But I try not to even think that way, because I think if you put that seed in your brain, then you color your view of the world in a different way, that
Well,
it can be self-limiting.
yes, that's a very good point that you make. And you probably never thought of that being a disadvantage for you, and you just had your sights set on certain goals and you would work towards those goals, and you show that your perseverance and talent, uh, and hard work paid off. So that's why one of the reasons you're getting this award, because you really are a leader and you lead by example. And I think that's wonderful, the way you explain it, that you don't make excuses, you don't look back, you just move forward. And you have accomplished all your goals. Again, looking at your resume, so impressive. All the organizations that you're on, not just the Florida Board of Governors, but Supreme Court JNC, Judicial Nominating Committee, the Supreme Court Commission on Professionalism, which is so important and so needed,
Yes.
and the Trial Lawyers Association, ABOTA, winning awards, and then you've published probably 15, 20, more than 20 articles on all sorts of aspects of being a lawyer, a trial attorney. So very, very impressive. What advice would you give to people entering the legal field?
Well, I think anybody looking at law, looking at getting into the legal field, I think they have to understand that law is not a job, that it really truly is a profession, which is much more than a job. It is all absorbing, it is all encompassing. If you choose this career, it has to be for the right reasons, because it does require a commitment beyond what most careers do, with long hours, tedious review of sometimes mountains of information, and keeping abreast of laws and rules that are constantly changing. On the other hand, the practice of law, to me, is enormously gratifying on many levels, and is one of the highest callings of any profession. So if you are ready for hard work and ready to give it the commitment, I would encourage you, but not if you're just looking at it as a job.
Right. That's a good point. Well, I think that's something about your personality is that you would never do anything just as a job. It has to have meaning to you. And I think that's such an important point because you pointed out earlier when you were applying to law school, it was, well, I'm not good in the sciences, so law could be it. And you were not one of those people that, from a young age, you always wanted, you knew you wanted to be a lawyer. But yet, when you chose the practice of law, you saw that it did fit with your values and advocacy, like you say, and fighting for people that don't have a voice. Um, and so you made sure that it was meaningful to you. So I think that that's really a wonderful takeaway for people. Uh,
Thank
and
you.
I'll say, whenever I see you in court, you are always so prepared. There are some lawyers when you see come into the courtroom and you just have a sigh of relief, like you can trust this person, and you're one of those people. So I don't see you in court very often because, again, I think another sign of very effective lawyers is they don't come in motion calendar very often. They can work things out. They may go to trial. Unfortunately, we're not having jury trials right now, but yeah, it's you definitely lead by example. Um, what obstacles would you say you had to overcome in your career?
When I started at Shelley Schlesinger's office, I was recently married, but soon I had a child, and I had a baby that was 6 months old when I found out I was pregnant with another child, and I had just been getting back into the courtroom and back in adjusting my law practice with my becoming a mother. So that was when I made the decision to start my own law practice. And I decided that I would, before my second child was born, I started my law practice out of an extra bedroom in my home. And slowly but surely, I was able to have my second child. And then little by little, I was able to get the money together to rent a 10 by 10 office suite. And then that grew, and I was able to grow my practice. But having children, I have to say, I think it's so important to, I found that having children was an asset that enriched my life and my career, because becoming a mother to me is gives you, makes you more multidimensional, and you just view the world in different ways when you become a parent. And when I became a parent, I I found so much more meaning in everything that I did. So in terms of obstacles, that were personal in nature, I think it's very important to have a strong support system, which I always have. And you have to look for that, because otherwise you can't be focused on where you need to be focused. I do also find that it's important to have balance, because that gives you a more well-rounded approach to everything you do. But I've been very blessed. I've been very fortunate. I have worked hard, but I can't really say that I've had too many obstacles other than just balancing life and things that life throws your way. But if you stay focused, I believe that most obstacles can be overcome.
Right, right. Well, probably because of your positive attitude, what the challenges that some people might consider obstacles, you don't see them even as obstacles, but as a way to make you have a more full perspective and enriches your life and makes you stronger and better. So I really think for me, the takeaway is it's all about your perspective and how you handle things. So you took a challenge of um, having a baby, which can be very time consuming and draining and taking your energy and taking your sleep. You took that and made it a positive experience, not just as a mom, but also as a lawyer. So that's a wonderful way to handle things. And also, like you said, you made sure you had a strong support system. That's definitely key. And I'm not surprised because you're such a wonderful person that you would have a strong support system.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, can you share with us your work at the Board of Governors, what you've been able to do for the 17th Judicial Circuit?
Well, the Board of Governors, as you know, is a organization that oversees lawyer discipline, and we formulate policy concerning the activities of the bar. Back around 2013, I was approached by a lovely, wonderful woman bar leader, Juliet Rolhack, who was getting ready to step down from her seat on the 17th Circuit Board of Governors. And she encouraged me to run, which I did. And I've been reelected now without opposition since that time. We meet regularly as a board. I'm on different committees right now. Right now, I'm on the Communications Committee and the Disciplinary Review Committee, as well as being the liaison to the Legal Needs of Children Committee. And it's really very, very time consuming when you take it seriously. But every year, what I try to do is bring my unique experience in law as for example, a small law firm owner that does plaintiff's trial law, and try to be the voice for when issues come up with that. The Board of Governors is comprised of a wonderful group of 52 members that do lots of different things. And that's a wonderful thing, because sometimes issues come up that really are somewhat foreign to me. And I listen closely, and I care deeply about what someone who is doing that kind of work does. And I think that's what all of us bring to the table. And that's why it's so, it's a very dynamic group. And so I bring to the table, wherever I can, the issues that impact that which I may speak on comfortably. And I try and make sure we get it right.
Right. Well, we're very fortunate that we have you on the board.
Thank you.
To look out for our interests. In closing, do you have a piece of advice that you would give to people who in court, that you said that you're on the disciplinary board, you look at that. Why do we find lawyers getting into trouble? What do you think is the most common reason? And what advice would you have to new lawyers to stay out of that whole area?
I think it's very, very important to read the code of conduct for lawyers. Try and read that on a regular basis. I think there are lawyers that get into trouble that don't intend to get into trouble, that don't intend even to do a misdeed. But being on the Board of Governors has opened my mind, even though I had already been practicing over 20 years when I got on the board, about ways in which lawyers can very innocently get into trouble. Of course, ethics is predominant. I mean, you have to have a good code of ethics. You have to always put your client's interests first, above all else. And if you ever feel that your interests conflict in any way with your client, if in any way you ever believe that you are conflicted over what to do because you're thinking of yourself over your client, that's a red flag that you must exercise in favor of the client or withdraw. That's, I think, the hallmark of the ethics rules. And also read the Florida Bar's section on, as I said, the ethics, the codes of conduct, and also how those things change from time to time, and read the comments to them. Because I find that lawyers sometimes very innocently get into trouble in areas that just they're simply ignorant of, and that can happen. So that would be my advice to lawyers, and just try and always do the right thing.
That's great advice. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you about this.
Oh no, it's my pleasure, and it's I'm just so excited to have you as an attorney in Broward County. So proud to be able to say you are a Broward County attorney because you really represent Broward County wonderfully. And thank you for
Thank you,
having.
Ms. Tobin Singer. Thank you very much for this opportunity and this honor.